Hey, hey, hey! I'm so sorry I have a weak connection. You have to bear with me for this one. Because I'm out fishing. I'm gonna wait just a little bit. I know I'm so sorry about my connection. I hope it doesn't cut me off. I'm sorry, you guys. You have to bear with me. I'm out fishing, so hopefully my connection is a little bit better. Just a little bit. I'm gonna wait just a little bit. Like maybe another minute or so, because it's almost 7 o'clock. So I'm so excited. I'm so nervous about this still, you guys. Like, this is a huge deal. So I'm really excited. So many people. Oh, thank you, Savannah. Sorry, my connection is weak, so you guys are gonna have to bear with me. But I'm gonna try and make it through this. I'm gonna try and make it within 10 minutes, because there's a few things I want to stress about this, but I don't want to go overboard with it. So I'm sorry again. I know it's fuzzy. You guys have to keep on keeping on. Okay, about 30 more seconds and then we'll get started. And sorry again for those that are just getting on. I know my connection's terrible. It's because I'm out fishing today, out by the lake, keeping peaceful. Okay, so just a few more seconds and then I know more will hop on later on. But, so anyways, what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight is the Younique Foundation's Haven Retreat. It's a huge deal. It's actually why I joined Younique in the first place. As soon as I heard that Younique had a foundation for sexually abused women, I went crazy because I've never been able to find a support group for it, and finding the Younique company was just everything. It was like, it just made everything make so much sense. So I started out with Younique about a year and a month ago. So yeah, 13 months ago. And sorry again about my weak connection. I started with Younique about 13 months ago. February 25th, I was officially able to start. And I always wanted to be a part of the foundation, but they really hadn't, like, come up with it yet. Well, they had announced it, but they hadn't made anything completely open to everyone yet. So I waited until they made it open, and then I put in my application on December 30th. I finally had the courage to do it. It was like December 31st or something like that. And I was terrified. You can ask all my upline. I didn't know what the heck to do. I didn't know anything. I was just so afraid because I've been in my healing process for about 10 years already. This is actually the 10th year on the dot this week. So it's pretty miraculous, all of the things that I've personally been able to overcome. But going to this retreat just totally made it completely that much more real. Now, there's a lot of people, like, it doesn't matter where you are in your healing process. This is something that you need to make it apparent to go to. If you are someone who is a victim of sexual abuse or any kind of sexual harm as a woman, as a child, this is something you need to make it to. I can't stress it enough. It doesn't matter where you are in your healing process. You need to go to this. So I'm going to kind of explain a little bit about how each day went for me personally. Now, mind you, everyone's story is different. You can't, just because my story went this way, doesn't mean that everyone's story is this way. Some people at my retreat had just come out about things, whereas for me, I'd been working on it for 10 years. So that shows you the variety of how many what the type of people are that can go to this. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't have to be a unique presenter. It's amazing. You have to do it. So basically, I was terrified to go. I was excited but terrified because I had no idea what it would be like when I actually came back. I didn't know anything about, and I do apologize again for everyone. My connection is really weak. I'm out fishing right now, so, but I had to hop on because I promised this. So for me, I had been through a lot of therapy already. I already went through everything that was like the beginning of the healing process, but I was still really stuck in some things where it was really hard for me. So the first day, my flight ended up getting delayed. I was afraid that I wasn't going to make it to where they were able to pick me up because I went from Arizona to Utah. Um, so I really didn't want to pay for a cab to get up to the mountains. I didn't mind if I had to, but I really didn't want to pay for that. So my flight was delayed. Thankfully, it was only delayed for like half an hour, and I was still able to meet up with everyone just in time for me to be picked up. So I got out there, and they meet you with it's a TYF, the Unique Foundation sign, and it has the Unique Foundation's logo on it. So they meet you with that, and they're in purple and everything, and it's great. So it was kind of nerve-wracking because I wasn't sure who I was really looking for. Their communication is great though. They tell you what they're wearing. You can tell them what you're wearing, kind of what to expect and who to look for. So their communication, I have to say, that was fantastic. I totally loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I know what I'm looking for. I'm not so crazy. I don't feel as bad anymore. So then I did that, and then we went to the next terminal, got the other girls, and then we all went to the SUV, and we stopped by on our way up to the mountains. We stopped by the facility, like the Unique stuff, just to kind of see it, because we were all presenters. Not everyone at the retreat was presenters, but our 5 girls that I met up with were. So we wanted to see it, and we did. So that was nice. That was a little surprise. And then we got up there, and we kind of got to know each other a little bit more, kind of break the ice a little bit. And then we had our first class, and this class was a total eye-opener for me. It was like everything that it teaches you pretty much why you think the way you think, and why certain things develop in you the way they do. So for me, I've always been terrified of when people have loud voices. And one of the reasons why that is because when I was younger, that was every time that there was a loud voice, I had to be in survival mode. That was something that I forget exactly what it's called, but there's a part of your brain that turns that on. And that was really, really interesting to learn because I never ever thought of it like that. I never thought that it would be something like that. So it did, and that kind of opened my eyes to a lot. I was thinking more about, okay, what were some of the triggering things for me versus what were some of the things that maybe weren't as triggering. And so I started to think about that and pray a lot about those things. The more that I started to think about them, the more I realized what was triggering and what wasn't as triggering. And so I thought a lot about everything, and it was really cool. And then after that, we did kind of a little drumming session, which was cool. That really helped us all open up to each other. It helped us feel like, okay, we're in this all together. We're a team. And this is something that I love about Unique is no matter what you're doing it as a team. You're doing it with other people, and that makes it so much more easier, at least in my opinion. It doesn't even have to be about the company, just in the foundation too. It's just at the retreat, it was great. By the second day, we felt like a family. And that is something huge and a huge part of why I love Unique anyways, because I want to be able to share my story, but I want to be able to help other people get their stories out there too, because a big part of this is breaking the silence. Like 1 in 4 women are sexually abused when they're younger. That's a lot of women. I had 2,500 friends on my Facebook. And that means that at least 500 of you could have possibly been sexually abused. That's a lot of women. And that's just on my friends list. That's not even including everyone else's friends list. So, it's a big deal for me. Um, and so that's how the first day went. And then on the second day, we got to know each other a little bit more. We woke up and we did yoga. And I've always loved yoga. Yoga is actually one of the things that my therapist helped me do, like kind of get into, was to be able to open up a little bit more and feel a little bit more free. And so we did yoga and I loved it. And then you go to group therapy, which I'm not going to say anything about that because that's something personal between us girls, but that's okay. If you're a victim of this, then definitely once you go, every group is going to have their own different thing. So that's something personal that'll stay between us girls. But after that, we did our personal activities, and my personal activities for that day were talking. I did my photo shoot and my makeover, which it was so cool. It was like I got my makeover done and I felt like I was on top of the world. And a big reason why I did this is because I stand as Beauty with Brittany. That's my name, is Beauty with Brittany Darley. That's kind of like my take on Unique. um, but I really wasn't feeling it. Like, I really was afraid of it. Like, afraid to truly feel beautiful for who I am. And so that was kind of hard to take, and it was a little bit worrisome. But that's why I did the photo shoot. Excuse me. Sorry, I had something on my tongue. But that's why I did my photo shoot, and that's why ultimately I ended up, once we did one photo where I kind of held my hands against my face like this with my hair all scrunched up, and I felt totally at peace, like with everything, with all of my past, everything in the future. I didn't even have to worry about the future anymore. And that was something that's always been a big deal for me, is I've always had to worry about the future, worry about what the heck's going to happen to me, because I wasn't able to save myself before, so in the future I need to be prepared. Well, at that moment, I could tell you I totally was just blown away. I didn't have to worry about it anymore. I was safe. Everything was fine. And that's something that I'll never be able to, I'll experience it again, but it won't ever feel the exact same way that it did. And that photo shoot really, really changed me. So that was a big deal. And then after that, I did a communication class, which was great. That made me totally, or no, it was understanding forgiveness. The next day I did a communications class. But I did an understanding forgiveness. And during that day, during that class, I decided to forgive myself for everything that had happened in my past and to forgive myself for anything that was going to happen in the future if it wasn't planned by me. And now I know how to stop it all. So that was really, really interesting. And I'm so sorry, you guys, that my connection is so weak. But I'm out fishing today, so I had to do this. But anyways, so that doing the photo shoot and then forgiving myself literally that day just made me feel complete again. That was the day that I felt whole. And that's ever since that day, I can't even describe the way that it feels. It's like all this weight is lifted off your shoulders. You're finally you again. And it doesn't even matter what the heck has to happen in the future. You can make it. You can do it. And I didn't have to worry anymore. I didn't even have to. No, I'm not driving. I'm just in the driver's seat of a car. Because we're at the lake. So. But, no, all this weight was lifted off my shoulders. And it was so, I can't even describe it. It was so amazing to be able to, like, feel free again. So, at that moment, that night, I felt complete peace. I was totally overwhelmed with joy. I wasn't even, like, crying of tears of joy. It was just this overwhelming feeling of you're okay. Like, you can do anything you set your mind to. And that was huge for me. Huge, huge, huge. Like, I've always felt like I needed to stand up to someone because I was abused. And I've always felt like I needed to prove people wrong. And after that, it was like, this is for you. This is anything that I do from here on out is for me as Brittany Renee and Darley. Or me with my company of Beauty with Brittany Darley. It's for me, not for anyone else. And that is why this is such a big deal for anyone at any stage in your healing process, because I was 10 years through my healing process. This week is my 10th year complete. And I was on a 10-year healing program, but for the women who haven't been on the healing, like as much of a healing journey as I've been on, they overcame a lot too, and I saw it, and I love it because they're joyful now too, and I want that for everyone. That's my point of being with Younique, is to be able to do this for everyone. So I want to make that clear for everyone. The third day was great too. The third day we learned about communication. We learned about the sexual aspects of things, which I'm not going to talk about anything because it is very triggering for a lot of women. But you learn what's right and what's wrong. And basically for me, what I took away from it is what is a healthy relationship versus what's not a healthy relationship. And I've never understood that because I was abused. And to finally put the pieces together and to finally be able to say, okay, this is right, this is normal, this is okay. Oh, that's a big red flag. I can't do that. That is something that just blew me away, and I was so, so grateful to be able to do this. So, I've gone right over a little bit over 15 minutes now, but it was amazing. It was 4 days of my life that I literally could not take back. It was, even though it was only 4 days, it truly changed my life, and it truly made me stand for everything that I stand with Younique already. It was just the light bulb for everything. And which is why when I came back, I was a little bit nervous about everything and a little bit overwhelmed with life. I wanted to learn to take it all in and then to be able to let it out, which is why I'm doing this 3 weeks later, because I want to be able to share with you guys the true aspect of everything and how no matter what happens in your life, whether it's sexual abuse or not, you need to be able to heal yourself from it. Whether it's a divorce, my own mom, she's had trouble with that, but she's learned to heal with it and like to be more healed and to be herself. And I'm so grateful for that. And I want us all to be able to experience that sometime in our life, whether it be with any trauma that we've had or anything else. It's a huge part of why I have Beauty with Brittany, is because I want to be able to reach all women across the world. And it's a big reason why I went on the retreat, even though I was scared out of myself. I was afraid to death. I was afraid to make this video too. But you have to do what you're afraid to do. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And I took it by the bull by the horns, and I did it. And it changed my life forever. So, anyways, I'm sorry that my connection is really weak during this. I hope that you guys were able to see it all okay. For any of you that missed anything, just if you want to message me or if you want to play this back when it's done, do whatever you have to do. But the Younique Foundation has changed my life. Like, I can barely put it into words how grateful I am that I was able to go on this retreat. Not even just because it was with Younique, but the fact that it is just makes it that much more and brings that much more beauty to the company, I feel like. But Shalane and Derek, they're great. I love them to death. They're like parents to me almost. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off because I've been on 5 minutes more than I wanted to be. But I love you guys. If you have anything you want to comment or anything you want to say, you can either message me or you can comment it. If you have any questions about anything, about how to join, how to sign up for apply for the retreat, I'll send you the link or I'll comment it even. Um, anyways, anyone, no matter what your healing stage, you need to go. Because at 10 years, I was able to learn stuff. And I was able to overcome things. So if you're at the beginning of your healing journey, that's okay. It'll help you open up your light, open up your eyes so much sooner than what it was for me. I wish I would have gone sooner, but of course it wasn't around then. So I'm so grateful it is now. But I love you guys. If you have any questions, just let me know. Bye!